important question.
Yeah.
What are we going to eat today?
Bro, can you get Fringers? Oh, it's closed. Yeah, the Christmas.
It's closed.
Oh, yeah.
Too many calories,
It's
bro.
cheap. It's not too high in calories.
It's
more affordable.
I could do an Aljana,
You could.
$15 meal, but it's a bit of it. We have to travel back to Balcombe Hills.
What about Blacktown?
I don't know. Blacktown we could go, but it's just a Darrow area.
Cut that
It's
out.
just a peasant area. I can't say that. I used to live there, so don't judge me, guys. All right.
We're gonna edit.
We're gonna edit that out. Maybe not.
No,
Maybe-
I love
maybe-
Blacktown. I just want to say Blacktown's a lovely area, and I've had many good experiences. I even worked in Blacktown for a bit. Why am I telling people this? I don't want you searching me up. It's a nice area. Every area in Sydney has its nice things about it, and we're not here to judge.
Blacktown, guys. For those of you who aren't in Sydney, Blacktown is like Abu Dhabi. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah,
honestly.
let's say that.
Maybe slightly different, but pretty much as luxurious as Abu Dhabi.
I would argue that is the case.
Anyway, guys, welcome to Bridges of Belief. I'm your host, Poya.
So what happens when you don't have El Jana?
Okay.
Where's the last time you had El Jana?
All right.
We're not sponsored by El Jana, by the way,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we should be.
Welcome to Bridges of Belief, our podcast. My name is Kevin Poraj. This is Poya. I'm a life coach, and Poya is just a beast all around. But guys, we're switching it up. We're trying a couple of different things, and we want our podcast to look better, to sound better. We did have a lot of feedback saying that you absolutely love the podcast, but the recording quality was not that great. So we've upped our game a little bit because we know you guys want to listen to us and we want to make it a little bit easier. What are we going to talk about today? A really simple topic. I know that everyone is going into 2024 and they want to have a better year. They want to have better health, better wealth, better relationships, better mindset, better everything. And what me and Poya are going to share is a really simple framework. I think one thing that we want you guys to take away from today is to reflect on three things. What is one thing that you're going to stop doing? What is one thing that you're going to start doing? And what is one thing that you're going to keep doing? So pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Poya share first. What's the one thing he's going to stop doing, start doing, and then keep doing? And why? And I'm going to do that as well. And hopefully that should encourage you to come up with your own list. Because sometimes New Year's resolutions are just so difficult to stick to. But I think if we could just think about one thing to stop doing, one thing to start, one thing to keep, it's just so much more achievable and it's more likely for us to actually follow through. So that being said, Poya, take it away.
I'm going to stop being late to things.
Right.
It's very vulnerable. It's actually very hard to share. This is like worse than sharing like some of the other stuff.
For those of you guys who may or may know Poya, this is definitely, Poya's a beast in many different areas, but it's something that we've been grilling him on recently, which is a little bit of the punctuality, but he's getting better. So it's a little bit, it's a sensitive area. It's a sensitive area.
I'm feeling it now. I feel very vulnerable. I'm like, yeah, I'll share about addiction and stuff, but maybe, I can't share about that. Something I decided this year I really want to be better at. I want to, this is hard to talk about, very vulnerable. Anyway, what I've done, I'll share something. Why I want to stop. Let's go into that first. Sorry, I'm just getting emotional. Man, it's just disrespectful people's time. It's not a good look. I think time is one of the most valuable currencies we have. And when you when you don't respect someone else's time, you pretty much don't respect them. And I think one of the things I, in a sense, pride myself on, I guess pride myself on is I think I try to be as loving a person as I can be to my friends. And whenever I'm late to things, it really cuts me deep because I'm like, oh, that's not in line with who I want to be. I don't think this is how I'd want to be treated. I know I can get frustrated when people are late or take ages to reply to messages and things like that. And I think one of the biggest things I've been thinking about is what it means to be reliable. And I think, honestly, I can be very reliable. When I'm reliable, I'm really reliable, but then it's not consistent. And that's not the type of friend I want to be. That's not the reputation I want to have. And I think this year, this was like, I'm almost 30. It's time to really nip this in the bud and change. Yeah, just stop.
Yeah. Awesome.
Just stop, yeah.
Awesome, bro. I respect that. And I also do want to ask you, for those of you who are listening to this as well, aren't there areas where you might be listening to this and thinking, man, I'm not reliable or I'm not disciplined? But if you really reflect, me and you, Poya, we've talked about this before, even though maybe you're not reliable with time, there are other areas that you are reliable with.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I think we can beat ourselves up into thinking that we're not disciplined or we're not reliable. But what you'll notice is there's always certain areas where you are more disciplined and certain areas where you are more reliable and certain areas where you're not. So I think it's important to start from a place of giving yourself some, you could say some credit for being reliable in certain areas and starting from that place and say, okay, there are some areas that I do want to be more reliable at. And that's what you're doing. That's good. So,
Thanks, man.
what's one thing you want to start doing in 2024?
Start doing. I want to just be consistent. And I think that kind of connects to the previous one, but as I struggle with consistency, I think even in this podcast, haven't been as consistent putting out episodes and things like that. Particularly jiu-jitsu, not very consistent. Other projects I'm working on, not very consistent. And it's
why do you think that is? And for those of you who are listening, like I know we all want to be consistent. We all know that if we were more consistent in so many areas, so many more things would have happened in our lives. But that being said, I know I've struggled with this myself. And I know what Poya's struggling with when he says consistency is definitely an area where people can resonate with. So that being said, like, why do you think you struggled with it this year?
Yeah, I guess the only answer I have to that right now, and it's probably a deeper psychological thing, but I think right now where I'm at with it is I just have a really bad relationship with time. So that kind of ties into the whole like punctuality thing, right? So in terms of consistency, what I find that I do is I'll overbook myself, or I'll be like, I'll book too much in one day and I'll be like, all right, I'm going to go training this day, and then I'm going to go to work, and then I'm going to come back and do more training read this book and all this stuff. And it's just not realistic and it's not sustainable. And I think the other thing is I just don't put the effort in to plan things.
Yep.
So something that I've started doing that's helped, and it's helped with punctuality as well, is just planning my week every Sunday. So my friend Josh, shout out to JP, Josh, my man, who you coach.
Yep.
Josh and I have sent each other calendars, and everything's booked in, and that's really helped me to meet everything. And so just like the last few days, clear head, been more punctual, been replying to every single message, but also been consistent.
Yeah.
But I guess consistency comes over time. So I want to see so I'm going to see over the next few weeks. But here's the irony, right? I saw Alex Hormozy talk about this. I actually am consistent in my inconsistency. So I can be consistent. It's just I got to flip it. So I think it's also a matter of figuring out what I want to be consistent in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you do have consistency. It's funny that I remember when you said that to me, and I remember even whenever you said that, you were searching for apartments because this is when you wanted to move out. And when you wanted to move out, I remember every single weekend you would show up to go look at a new apartment, go to some open home or whatever. And I remembered you were so consistent with that. And I asked you many times, hey, can we do this? Can we go grab breakfast? Can we do this? Like, nah, I'm doing this. Nothing's coming in the way. And I remember that was a good 4 to 6 months of you doing that straight every single week.
Actually, a year and a half.
A year and a half.
Because I was going to buy an apartment and then that changed and I was looking to rent.
So I think it just goes to show, sometimes you can just be beating yourself up that you're not consistent, that you're not disciplined. But if you really look around, you'll notice that there are areas that you are consistent in. There are areas that you are disciplined in. So once again, remember to go back and give yourself some credit and start from that place.
Dude, I've noticed, so with that, it's really just increasing more of what you are, right? So like reliable, right? You're saying I'm reliable in all these areas. This is just another area to become more reliable. I'm already reliable. I'm just becoming more reliable.
Yes.
I'm already consistent. I'm just becoming consistent in a different way, or more consistent in something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dang,
Because when you come from an identity of I am not reliable and I want to be reliable, you're coming from a place of going, I lack this. When you're coming from a place of I lack this, you're coming from a place of I'm not confident in this. When you're coming from a place of I'm not confident in this, you're coming from a place of I've failed before I started.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you like shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah. Whereas if you come from a place of, I do have reliability, I am reliable, I just want to switch it to this area, you're coming from that place of confidence. I can do this. We all know confidence is almost like the key to everything. The more confident you are, the more action you take, the more you achieve. And if you're coming from a place of I'm not reliable, I'm not consistent, I'm not disciplined, you're only going to shoot yourself in the foot. And I've seen Poya do the same. I've seen myself do the same. I've seen my clients do the same. Yeah, I think this is a really good conversation.
Do you think David Goggins has done the same?
No. David Goggins is the only one who probably has literal balls of steel.
Probably does, man.
Yeah.
I wonder how he had kids then.
Hey, random question. Is there anything that you could do that you think that David Goggins can't do?
Follow the Lord.
I can imagine him doing that. Come on, get up, read your Bible.
Yeah, imagine if it was a preacher.
Oh, man.
That's poopy pants. Y'all sit it.
Oh, man.
Y'all go. You come to church on Sunday, act like one thing. Go home the other day, do another thing. Sorry, is that racist? I don't know. Don't cancel me. We'll edit that out. I don't think so. Keep it in. It's a joke. It's comedy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So coming back to it.
Coming back.
One of the things that you want to stop doing is being not so punctual. One of the things you want to start doing is being so consistent. I'll challenge you on that, bro, because I'm going to challenge you because I think that is a good thing to think about. But I don't know if it's specific enough.
All right, let's get more specific then.
Yeah.
Let's get more specific, baby.
Yeah. Just because it's like from a perspective of if I say something like I'm going to be more consistent, it's very hard for you to hold me accountable to that.
You know what? Yeah, okay.
Whereas if you say something like you create maybe a tracker of different things I want to be consistent with, and you said I'm going to be consistent with that thing, you can hold me accountable to that. You can hold me accountable to saying I'm going to be meditating every single day. And if I'm consistent in one area, that just spreads out to another area as well.
You know what? I've got something I'll stop doing, specifics, and one that I'll keep, that I want to start doing.
Yeah.
Specifically, I want to stop wasting time on social media.
Oh,
Especially Insta and all that. It's just crap. I hate it.
Can I ask you, what's your plan to do that? Because I have my own. I want to hear yours.
I've been just scheduling things and just getting into a good groove of doing. I've noticed this last few days, because I've been like pretty good at going and exercise in the morning, then work and all that stuff, really disciplined with that and my eating. I just can't be bothered to go to social media. I have a clearer head, so I just want to do other stuff. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And also I blocked the app on my phone, so I can't even access it until after 5 p.m. I'll probably do that on other apps, on other devices as well. I think probably just, I think that's, if I keep using browser version, I'll just keep my phone away. But I think it's just having things to do and building better habits on top of that. Something that I've started doing, which has helped, is reading my Kindle on my phone instead of going on social media when I'm like waiting for a coffee or I'm at a rave and I'm tired, I want to take a break. Just get out my Kindle, do a little...
Cheeky, you put that in there. Guys, you won't believe, I actually caught... Me and Poya went to a field day, a festival, and we went to see one of our favorite artists, Rufus. There was a couple of other artists that were okay, but mainly Rufus was best band in the world. Anyway.
They're very good.
We were seeing some of the other artists, and I remember I saw Poya dancing extremely hard, and then 1 second, I swear I saw him reading the Bible in the middle of the mosh pit, just casually just reading the Bible.
It's Tim Keller.
And I was like, Jesus, take this man to heaven right now. Jesus, this is one of the men who just walked with the Lord into heaven. But anyway, I found out, I talked to you, I asked you, you said it was Tim Keller.
It was Tim Keller, Book on Forgiveness, great book.
But you know what, I asked you about it, there's a reason why you did that.
Yeah, it's because like, instead of just wasting time on social media, if I want to just take a break or I'm chilling, just learn something or just read. Reading is I think reading is one of the best habits anyone can do. I think reading the classic literature, there's so much you can learn from it. I've decided every year I'm going to read 1984. That's a great book. I'm actually rereading Dune. A lot to learn from there. Very relevant for our current geopolitical situation, whatever you want to call it. But like, it's just so much better for your mind. And I find doing that is help me to be less addicted to social media. And I don't know, it just makes me more calm. I get more serotonin, I guess. And I learn more. I speak better. I speak good. I'm more articulate.
Dude,
it's just...
First of all, I really respect that. I told you this before, but I really respect that you do that. And what I like about it, it's completely going against the grain. Like me just watching Poya, me watching you, everyone's just off their face, drunk, pumping their life sticks. I call them vapes, but life sticks. I call them life sticks.
If you watch Star Wars, they're called death sticks. Yeah, you haven't seen Star Wars.
But just watching Poya in the middle of the crowd, just everyone's just pumped, and he's just really casually reading just a book on his phone is the funniest, the most beautiful thing I've seen, because I think it shows that sometimes you got to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
You got to do something that's authentic to you. And I told you how much I respect this, that everyone's doing one thing, but you are doing the opposite. And it's funny, you see this in business. The one person who decides to do the thing that no one else is doing is the one that often succeeds. I was reading about it today that so many people were just so against digital marketing. So many people were against the internet. And eventually it was the first few pioneers that decided to do something that they felt intuitively called to do. So I really respect that. And that when I looked at that, I was like, wow, that inspires me to do something that might be weird, that might be strange, but that is me. And yeah, I really respected that. So anyway,
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that,
I think
man.
that's really cool. And I think it's also a great tip for anyone who's listening to put in measures like that. I know I have my own measures, which I'll probably talk about because my stop is social media, which I'll explain in a bit. But no, thanks for sharing, bro. What is one thing you're going to keep doing?
Keep doing.
Something that you're already doing that you're going to continue to do. And I think that's important because it's important to, once again, acknowledge that you are already doing something right that you're going to continue to do.
Creating. Can I say creating?
Okay.
I guess if we want to get specific with it, this podcast.
Yeah.
There's some other stuff I'm working on as well, but I want to just keep doing those. I love creating. I remember at the start of 2022, you said, Poya, start creating more than you're consuming. Be a creator, not consumer. And I was so like lost and just depressed and just very aimless. And I think my journey last year, and you played a big part in that, is becoming a creator, not a consumer. And I think I'm more on that path now. So I want to keep doing that. I want to create more.
Why? Why do you think that's so crucial?
I think God gave us gifts so we can build the kingdom. So I want to be a builder. I want to build the kingdom. I want to lay down bricks. And I don't want to just be someone who takes.
What if you're creating in an area, and I love that.
Yeah.
What if you're creating in an area that is not, you could be creating, like this is essentially a personal development / Christian podcast, right? But you could also be creating something that is maybe not going to do with Christianity.
That's the funny thing. I think everything, if you're a Christian, is to do with Christianity. Everything's for Jesus, right? If you're a garbage collector, you're working for the Lord because you're keeping the city clean and you're getting rid of people's rubbish for them. That's an honorable job.
Yeah.
That's a job to be proud of.
Yeah.
If you're a police officer, you're protecting people. If you're a teacher, you're instructing the youth. You're crafting.
If
the
you're a
next
lawyer
mind.
who is...
You're a lawyer still. You're protecting. You're giving...
Protecting guilty people.
This is the thing. You're giving people fair defense. Everyone's entitled to a fair defense, regardless of if they're guilty or not. But they're also entitled. They're also entitled to face the full force of the law. But they're also entitled. We have a legal system, so they're entitled to a fair defense.
That's really good, man. I like that.
I have friends who are lawyers, so they told me this. I used to be like, yeah, and they're like, no, but this is... My friends are prosecutors. No, this... Like, he said...
I was going to say the reason why I think that you've thought about that before is because you watch a lot of movies. So you probably... And that's a theme that they often explore, the fact that you might be protecting the people who are doing the wrong thing. But, completely different subject, if you are protecting someone, you can protect them extremely well into a territory that you know that there's if you really wanted to get someone free, you could go the extra mile, and your job is to go the extra mile. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes you can twist the truth in order to get there.
Yeah, and that's where your convictions come in, right? So if you're a Christian, I think you want to do your job. It's that passage. I can't remember. I think it's in 1 Timothy maybe, where it talks about how work as if you're working for the Lord, right? So if you believe God is your master, you're going to try and deceive him, and you want to try and conduct your work in a way that honors him. So if you're a defense lawyer, for example, you want to give a defense that has integrity. So even if the person's guilty, that's fine. You want to just give them a defense that is fair to them, that's fair to the legal system we've set up, and you're still not being dishonest. But it's also a tricky one. I guess if you know they're guilty, maybe it's a bit trickier, but it's also you can't really could disclose that. There's a whole confidentiality thing as well. So there's laws around that, and that's a tricky one as a Christian navigate, where it's obeying the laws that God has put, like the authorities God has put in place here, and then also like His law and stuff. I don't think there's actually a clear
And you know
answer,
what? I think Christians, there are obviously a lot of Christian lawyers, and I think God will naturally choose the right person to do that type of job, because there are people who just cannot fathom that paradox. And then there are people who are okay with the paradox and have no problem with it, and they're the ones who do it. So I think God will put people in the right circumstance.
That's right, and I think I think God, like, if you ask Him for wisdom, He'll give it to you. Like, I think I can't remember. There's a scripture that says, if you ask, it's maybe 1 Corinthians. I can't quite quite it, but if you ask for God for wisdom, He'll give it to you. He'll give it to you. And if you go to His Word, you'll know most of the time what the best choice is. Not always, but you'll at least have a better idea of what to do than if you didn't. And I think with any job, you have that issue. Even like in my job, I have stuff like that. I think even if you're a teacher, there's stuff like that. It actually doesn't matter what industry you're in. I think there's a lot of... I'm very cautious to say that you can't be a Christian, do this. Only one I think I can think of is maybe like the adult film industry. That's the only
Yeah.
one that I think is, but even then there's also nuance. Like what if you're someone who isn't that then converted? What do you do if that's your income? But that's a whole other kettle of fish. But yeah, I think the attitude, I guess, yeah, the attitude I want to have is I want to work at it. You think about what gifts God has given me and think about what opportunities I have now. Like I want to really bring more value to my day job. I want to create content that really honors God like this. I love this podcast. I love you. Other things I'm working on, I want that all to honor him. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be like a Christian thing. If I'm doing a painting, it doesn't have to be a painting of Jesus, but I want it to somehow have a quality that reflects I don't know, God's quality. I want it to be good,
Yeah.
right? And it's honoring to the gift that God has given me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you're thinking if you look at I think we talked about this in our last podcast, like doing things with excellence, right?
Yeah. How you do anything is how you do everything, right?
Yeah.
Sean's favorite quote.
Yeah, which I have an interesting perspective on. I don't fully agree with that quote,
Ooh,
right?
spicy.
But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that after. But if you look at a secular person, most of the time that they're doing something with excellence is because to impress someone, to avoid some sort of embarrassment or pain, or to look better than other people, or to gain status, or to get love, or to gain some sort of validation. And then sometimes you get people who are doing it just because they love doing it, something. But I think the greatest way to marry those two things up is to do something from a place of just loving it, but also that you're doing it for someone. Think about that combination of motivation. You're doing something that you absolutely love. You look at a beautiful Christian singer like Brooke Fraser. She's singing a song because she loves to sing the song. Even regardless of, let's just say she wasn't even Christian, she would love music, she would love singing.
Yeah.
But now you marry up, you're doing it for someone. And that is, I don't know if you guys can feel that, but there's just such a strong sense of power that comes where not only you're doing something that you love, but you're doing it for someone and you're going, I'm going to do this at my best for this person. It's almost like when you look at the Christian story, it's perfect. And I've told you this before, it's perfect in the sense that it's like God creates us, gives us something to do that will fulfill us, but that serves someone else. Because God also knows that when we're serving someone else, that's when we're the most fulfilled. So what a privilege that we get to do what we love to do and serve someone at the same time. And it's like a triple container of fulfillment if you get those things lined up. Things that get in the way of that is your trauma, which makes you experience fear and hurt and makes you feel like you're not worthy of the gift that you have and makes you feel like something's wrong with the gift that you have and makes you feel like puts fear and put blocks in front of actually doing the thing that you want to do. Yeah. Purpose is a beautiful thing. I don't know where I was going with that, but what you're going to keep doing?
Creating.
Beautiful. Creating and
This
consuming.
podcast.
Beautiful.
Creating more than I consume, yeah.
Beautiful.
Now,
Yes.
the tables have turned.
Yes, tables have turned.
Turn this table.
Yeah, I'll share mine. Mine are pretty,
Go.
I'm going to make it short, simple, and sweet.
Okay.
I want to stop definitely my useless consumption of social media.
Okay. So what does that look like right now?
So I've realized that most of my consumption of social media
Yeah.
comes from me uselessly scrolling specifically on Instagram. So here's what I've discovered. I've discovered that the reason why we're so addicted is because we are consuming it through the senses of our visual and also through the sounds that we hear when we're watching a video or something like that. So what I thought was we could make one of those modalities a lot less attractive. So what I've actually done is I've gone onto iPhone. You can find out how to do this. And I've actually put it on grayscale, so it's black and white.
That's it. What's up? I've done
Right?
that too. I love it. Oh,
It's
so good.
It's so
Dude,
good.
so good.
So good.
Oh,
And it's so
bro.
easy to do. And you can, if you want to, you can put it on, put it off. Like I had it on black and white before we're filming this, and I just now put it on color and it took me 15 seconds to do, right? But what it does is you've got people that are sitting on the other side spending millions of dollars thinking, how do I make this person as addicted as possible? One of the ways is color and making them so vibrant, making them so attractive. We can just destroy that in seconds by just turning it to black and white. That's the first thing, making it less attractive. The second thing is simple, so simple, is for me, like as a business owner, where I need to be on social media, but it's like as soon as I get on to post something, then all of a sudden I get stuck there and I've been scrolling for hours. Oh my God. It's so powerful to just log out. So I use it, I post, I log out. And I'll flick through and I'll give myself like 2 minutes to flick through. Boom, I logged out. But you know what the best thing ever is that's really been helping me? And I really mean it, I can see it, meditation.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why.
Is that the thing you're going to keep doing?
Yeah, because what happens is when you sit down and when you do a meditation, most of the meditations will force you to come back and focus on your breath, right? But here's the reality. When you sit down and you're by yourself and you're not thinking, and it forces you to think about nothing, you have every single thought in the world come about. You think about your relationship, you think about your health, you think about your car, you think about all the problems, you think about your kids, you think about whatever comes into your mind at that time. Because now you're not distracting yourself with everything, everything comes into your awareness. But what it does, meditation forces you to, doesn't force you, it asks you to notice as soon as you got distracted, and without beating yourself back, bring yourself back to the breath. And if you got distracted again, notice you got distracted and bring yourself back to the breath without beating yourself up. And do it as many times as you need to. And here's the interesting thing. In the beginning, it's so hard to do. In the beginning, my first couple of meditations, I literally, the whole meditation was just me getting distracted, noticing and coming back. But eventually it's a practice and you get to a point where you become really good at noticing when you get distracted and coming back to the breath. And why this is so crucial is when I'm scrolling on Instagram, I'll notice that I'm scrolling on Instagram and I'll be like, and then I'll switch it off. As soon as I get distracted where I wake up in the morning, I check my emails and 2 hours goes by, that mindless thinking doesn't happen anymore. Now I notice as soon as I'm getting off course of what I was supposed to do and I bring myself back to what I'm supposed to do. That's why meditation for me has been a game changer.
Bro, I cannot, yeah, man. Like, yeah, you remember when we did it last year and we like keep each other accountable, just the changes we had for a month?
Yeah.
And I have a question for you because I get this a lot when I talk about meditation. I wonder if you get this response. People are like, but I'm not good at it. I don't feel it, but I'm not good at it. I'm not going to do it. What do you say to that?
That's so good that you brought it up because that's probably the reason why everyone stops.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, the first thing I'll say is that you got to adjust your expectations. If you have the expectation that you're going to do one meditation and you're going to feel a certain way, and that one thing is going to make you change your life forever, that is not the right expectation to have. Think about anything in life, anything that's worth having in life. Even if you go to the gym and you want to build some muscles, you want to lose some fat, it's the hard work you put in now only is going to pay off 6 to 9 months later. If you're starting to save money, the hard work that you put on now is only going to pay off 6 to 9 months later. If you're start going to relationship counseling, one relationship counseling session is not going to change your life. It's the work that you put in now is going to pay off later as long as you're consistent. So in the same way, if you look at meditation as a one session, I'm going to feel good, you're going to get disappointed. But if you think about doing it over 30 days and you see what happens, it's very powerful. And here's another principle that I was just sharing with another friend today. When you look at business, people want to do the fancy thing. They want to do the fancy thing, the exciting thing. They want to find that new method, that new hack. And marketing online loves that. They're always telling you, I'm going to give you the new hack. I'm going to give you the new magic buttons that's going to change your life. That's going to get you to 6 figures. That's going to change your relationship within a click of a button, or these 3 hacks. And the funny thing is, marketing forces us to feel like that is the reality, where that is not the reality. If you look at anyone who's built a successful business, it's often the person who's done the boring, mundane thing consistently over a long period of time who's been successful. If one person's going, I need the latest protein, I need the latest gym gear, I need the best hack around how to be super fit. Whereas you'll see the person who's successful at gym and who's like massive and ripped is usually the person who's eaten the right macros, gone to the gym a certain amount of time, followed the basics consistently over a long period of time. So when I come back to meditation, why is this important? Because we try to do all these fancy things, but we've heard meditation is good. But as soon as we sit down, we're like, it's not fun enough. Because we've forced ourselves to believe that everything needs to be a shortcut, everything needs to be hack, everything needs to be super exciting. And this is why I came back to meditation, because I had that exact same mindset that goes, I started here and this is not exciting enough. I'm not getting anything out of it immediately. So I thought to myself, if this is the thing that people have been doing for centuries, and it seems like it's the boring thing that if you did consistently over a long period of time, it will be powerful, there's got to be something to this. So I just sat down and go, I'm going to let myself go off any expectations and just do it for 30 days and see what happens. And I've had streaks, 20 days, 30 days, 40 days, but I'm right now on a 9-day streak and I'm feeling amazing. So much more focused.
How many minutes are you doing a day?
So much more productive. Simple, 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
just doing 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, that's the other thing. Me and Poya have tried to hold each other accountable, and we have succeeded at times, but we set ourselves big goals, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whereas it might be wise to just start off with 5 minutes.
Because we did it last year, and then we increased it by 5 minutes each week, and I think we
Yeah.
got up to 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Which is
I
probably
don't
too
think
much.
I ended up on 30.
I think 30
ended up
minutes
on-
is too much.
Yeah.
I
I would definitely start off with 10 minutes, guys.
Yeah.
Don't have any expectations. Do it consistently. And what it's going to do is it's going to help you focus. It's going to help you notice when you're getting distracted of social media, of certain habits, of beating yourself up when you fall off your discipline train. It's going to help you in 1,000 different ways. Social media. Going to cut that out with meditation, with making my phone less sexy, and with, what's the third thing? Logging out of my phone. All right, what am I going to start doing?
What do you want to start doing?
What am I going to start doing? I'm going to start. I'm definitely going to start praying in the morning.
Oh, man.
That has been a game changer to me because I think there's so many problems and challenges that come up in the world. And I think you need supernatural power, supernatural strength, supernatural belief to be able to overcome the natural obstacles that come. You know what I mean? It's like you look at great heroes in movies and they have overwhelming odds. If you have overwhelming odds, then technically you shouldn't have any belief that you're going to succeed. Because if you have overwhelming odds, logically speaking, you're going to lose. So for all these heroes to have the belief, it's got to be supernatural. It's got to be supernatural. You got to have a belief that is beyond that you will find a way. And my way to get that supernatural belief that defies all odds, that defies all the obstacles that's going to come in my way, has got to be something supernatural, something as powerful as God. For me, waking up in the morning and surrendering all my fears, all my worries, and just trusting God and just being really grateful to God, it just puts me in that space of just knowing that none of this matters. None of the materialistic things matter. Like, as long as I put my faith in God, everything's going to be okay. And that's a beautiful way to start your day. So definitely that. What I'm going to keep doing is probably just keep up. Yes, I've started to recently reach out to more friends, be more vulnerable with people, connect with people, because there was a period of being a business owner, you turn into a bit of a hermit. So I would say that relying on my friends a little bit more has been a game changer when it comes to dealing with some of my challenges and things that happen. Like even today, I had a challenge with something, I gave you a call and I felt 1,000 times better. And it's normally what people do is if they're in hermit mode, they're starting a business, they just stay in that. And then they just ruminate over it. And they ruminate over it, it becomes part of their thoughts, it changes the way they feel, it changes their identity, it changes their personality, it changes them fully. Whereas you could just release it by finding people that you can trust and reaching out to them more and just connecting with people more. Those are my three things. But anyway, we've gone a little bit over than what we wanted to go. So I do want to say...
It's good, man. We give them quality, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry that I gave you like extra cheesecake.
Exactly.
Like, cool, man.
Exactly.
Be grateful.
Pay us. No, I'm joking.
Please pay us. There we go. Pay us.
No, but I do want to say, Poya, you're an absolute legend, bro. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for sharing
appreciate it. Hope you guys found this valuable, and we will see you in the next session. Thank you.
Shout out to this Paul with the song Evening Train. That's our intro and outro song. It's a cool song. Check it out. And yeah.
Thank you.
So.
All right.